On my screen right now is a brand new YouTube channel that I grew from $0 to $1 million in just 8 months. And I've actually done this multiple times. I also scaled this dead YouTube channel from $0 to $1 million in 8 months and got thousands of new paying customers. And in less than 30 days, I scaled this brand new channel from $0 to $20,000 in monthly recurring revenue by only posting 3 videos. And I've scaled YouTube channels like these in over 30 different niches. And in this video, I'm going to show you my exact process for scaling YouTube channels like these from scratch to millions of dollars a year. So if you're a business who wants to scale and drive significant revenue growth, or just someone who wants to make more money and a lot of it, then this video is for you. So to dive straight in, the first step is to pick a niche. And this is if your niche isn't already picked. If you're a business, then chances are your niche is already picked because you probably already have a validated product, a product that works, proven to have demand around it, proven to get sales, and proven to get results. And that is for a particular type of person. It's for a particular market. And so we already know the people that we're going after if you already have a validated product. But if you don't already have a validated product, the first step is to get one or to be able to leverage one, right? So whether it's making your own and going through that validation process of building a product and getting that validated and kind of reaching product market fit in a sense, or leveraging a product that already has product market fit, and this could be through affiliation, partnership with, a company or a software, whatever it may be, right? And this is mainly if you're not a business owner. But if you are a business owner, you should already have this, or you should be very close to having this. So that's the first step, and this is choosing basically our niche, right? Because this is now choosing who we are going after and the markets that we are serving in YouTube. Typically what YouTube channels will do is they'll just pick a niche that they're interested in or something like that, and then they'll think about the product later. They'll think about the sales and revenue part after they've already started building the channel. But we're doing this the other way around, right? We are literally on a mission to target an exact type of person that we've already set on and we already know that we can sell to, and that's what our strategy is then centered around, which I'll get onto in a bit. You're also going to pick a niche that you have an advantage in. So whether you're an expert in the niche, you have unique, useful insights on the niche, etc. Right? We want to pick a niche that we have an advantage in, so it's easier for us to beat our competitors when we come into this niche from zero, right? If you come in without an advantage, it's still possible, because I'll get into a bit on how you can gain this advantage if you don't have one outright. But if you can have one, then it's beneficial. And again, chances are, if you're a business owner, you probably already have an advantage in the niche, because if your product is validated and if it's getting sales already and getting results, you're probably an expert in that niche, and so you can probably provide a ton of value that other competitors aren't able to provide or might be worse at. The other thing is that you want a good total addressable market, so TAM. And again, if you're a business owner, you should already have this, right? You can't really create a thriving business out of a very small total addressable market. And this doesn't mean you need to have some really broad business. This doesn't mean that you have to have a coaching program that sells to everybody who wants to make money online. It doesn't mean that at all. But what I'm kind of talking about here is like a bad total addressable market, maybe like something in logistics or supply chain, or these really, really small niches where you can 100% still see results on YouTube over the long term. And if you're long-term minded, you should 100% still do this. But to kind of have that fast feedback loop of getting results where we're able to see results in the first 30 days of running your channel, you need a sizable total addressable market to actually be able to attract. Otherwise, the feedback loop is going to be, and the growth loop is going to be quite slow there and quite elongated. So these are the main 3 things that I look for when I'm scaling YouTube channels. And what I do is I don't have a validated product myself, apart from my own for my company Views to Clients, where we scale YouTube channels to millions of dollars in annual recurring revenue. These channels that I'm partnering with, they are other companies that already have a validated product. So for example, Instantly.ai, they are a cold email sending platform. So they allow businesses to market themselves through cold email. So they have a validated product because their company is growing very, very fast. It's a great product. You can look at all the data behind this that 100% confirms that and ticks off that part of the criteria. We have an edge because we have a ton of unique, useful insights on cold email due to the fact so many people use the platform, and also just the experience that the founders have and everybody within the organization has on cold email. We're able to provide a lot of value, and also the total addressable market is great, right? Because our core target market are people who are already looking to send cold emails and market their business through cold email, which is great. This is an easy sell for those guys, and there's a ton of those already. But also, broader than that, any business owner who's looking to grow, which is basically any business owner, would benefit from being able to send cold emails because it's marketing their company to grow their company, and Instantly is the platform that enables them to do that, right? So our total addressable market is basically any business owner, or even broader than that, people who are interested in starting business but haven't even started yet. So we've got a great total addressable market, and this is why we've been able to make Instantly such a big success on YouTube. Obviously, it's not the thing that actually made it a success, but it's what enabled it to, reach the scale that it has so far. And also, we're going to scale this to 8 figures and beyond, just through YouTube, right? Like, the YouTube channel is going to make 8 figures and beyond on an annual basis. That's what we're going for. So after you've picked your niche and you know the exact audience that you're going after, the next part is actually understanding that audience, or understanding your target market. And this is one of the most important steps. The level of your YouTube video ideas is the main factor in determining whether you attract buyers or not, and how many of those buyers. YouTube ideas are the highest leverage thing, and that's what's going to determine how many people you can attract, how high the view ceiling is on your videos, and how high the view floor is on your videos, which is basically what is the maximum potential number of people that you can attract, and what is the minimum amount of people that you could potentially attract. And your scope of ideation is limited if you cannot see everything, right? And you will simply be unable to come up with the best video ideas. So what I mean here is that if you don't understand your target market on such a deep level, one single missed insight, one single little nugget of information that you don't have, if you did have, could have sparked a video idea that could have then gone on to literally single-handedly get thousands of customers. And I say that by no exaggeration, because this has happened with me before, where because I understood the audience so deeply, one single nugget of information has generated hundreds of thousands of dollars from one single video, like numerous times. And so this is why it's crucial that you spend so much time here, because you could gain one insight just by going that extra bit further that could change everything. One single insight could blow up the channel, make the video go viral within your entire market, attract thousands of buyers, and then convert those. It's so, so important. So again, how are you meant to come up with ideas when the connections to your brain simply do not exist? Right? And I'm going to show you an example of this right now, just so you can understand what I really mean by this in practicality. So this is a YouTube video on a channel that I'm partnered on in the e-commerce niche. And so for context, what we sell is a high-ticket program that teaches people how to start and scale their e-commerce businesses. And similar to dropshipping in a sense, it's a similar business model, and it's the same actually, but different terminology, right? Different ways of communicating what it is. Dropshipping is one phrase, e-commerce is another phrase. And the reason why ours is e-commerce is because we are targeting a more sophisticated audience. So dropshipping on YouTube typically attracts a younger audience, a more beginner, younger, more immature audience. And e-commerce attracts a higher end of the market, but it's more niche. And we're going after people who are potentially in a 9-to-5 job and they want to get out of their 9-to-5 job, and they might be working at a high-level company, or maybe they've started their own business before. Maybe they're a bit of an older demographic, so late 20s, 30s, and beyond. And that's what we were seeing from the actual data from the program. So we had those unique, useful insights on the target market that we were going after and the way they behaved. And so because we had that initial understanding of who our target market was, when I carried out research on YouTube, which I'm about to show you, it enabled me to come up with a video idea or a theory and almost a channel strategy in a way that allowed us to succeed massively. And just for context, this channel, we scaled from basically being a dead YouTube channel, making basically no money, to, in 4 months, adding $45,000 a month in directly attributable revenue to this YouTube channel. So pretty much $500,000 a year. And, you know, this is probably well beyond this at this point. This was back like 4, 5, 6 months ago when we hit that stage. And you can see this video alone has just generated $4,000 from YouTube AdSense, but this isn't where the money is made. The money is made through the sales in the back end. So let me quickly show you the insight that I actually gained through doing the YouTube research and how understand the audience helped that. So after going deep into understand the audience, this is when I started the YouTube research. And I was already pretty aware of the dropshipping and e-commerce niche, but of course I'm always going to do very intense, deep research on YouTube itself to really find where the opportunities are. And straight away, at a high level, one of the first things that I found was that in the dropshipping niche, most of the videos, like basically all of them, were targeted towards that younger, more immature audience, the more beginner type audience, which isn't the people that we're going after. As you can see, like these sort of thumbnails this was basically the common pattern across all of them. This dropshipping challenge format was the most prominent format in the niche that was succeeding at the time. But there were so many videos like this, like the supply of videos that just look all the same with this very immature clickbaity thumbnail with the Shopify dashboard on the phone and, you know, things of that nature. There were so many of them, and this was basically flooding the entire market. And, you know, although certain videos of this were doing extremely well, a lot of videos also weren't. And, you know, when we're searching dropshipping or dropshipping challenge, we're seeing basically the best of the videos that have came out on top with this challenge, and some of them aren't even doing too good. We don't see the hundreds of videos that were made on this and just didn't get any traction, right? That's what you call confirmation bias, and you have to be aware of that. But with this, I know that the supply of these videos was already insanely high, but also it doesn't actually attract the people that we want to attract. And what I was also finding is that actual value-orientated videos that had that high-end feel to it, right? It had that feel where it attracts the higher end of the market and, you know, it would catch their attention and get them to click. It just didn't exist. Like, it didn't exist in the market at the time. And this is what led on to the video idea that I just showed here, and the video that then came to be one of the most successful video on this channel, actually, which is ranking at the top of e-commerce on YouTube search as of today. But this video has generated well over 6 figures single-handedly. And the reason I was able to come up with this idea, which I'll go into on how I came up with it in a bit, so keep watching, but the thing that enabled me to come up with this was the insight that I had through doing this research, and the reason I was able to come up with that insight and come up with that thesis that people wanted these more value-orientated videos, and that if we made videos on that, it would do extremely well, was because I understood the audience. I understood what they desired, what they would resonate with, their behaviors, all of those things. But if I didn't understand those things, I would have never been able to look at this and be like, we should make this. Typically what people do for YouTube strategy is they'll, you know, go in their niche, they'll search up dropshipping and they'll look at these and they'll be like, oh, these videos are doing really well, let me just do this. And that's like the trap that most YouTube channels fall into, if they even do strategy in the first place, which 99% don't. But the ones that do it wrong. This is why I wanted to strain so hard and just like put so much emphasis on understanding your audience is the core pillar. It's boring and it takes time, and it's not the thing that you want to be doing. You just want to get on YouTube and start doing research, but it's literally the most important thing. And understanding your audience is going to make the ideation easier, not just better, right? You're going to be able to know where to look and all of those different things. So if you're a business, you likely already understand your target market, because you would have had to go through that entire process of market research and all of that when you were validating your product and just in the history of your business, right? But you still need to map this out instead of relying on your memory, especially if you're doing YouTube research, because we need to be able to clearly visualize and see all the areas and avenues that we need to go down and look on YouTube. We don't really want to just rely on our memory for this. And obviously, if you're not a business, or if you just don't know your audience and understand your audience on a deep level anyway, you need to do this. I'm going to show you a worksheet, and I'm actually going to give you access to this in the description. If you click the link in the description, it'll be there, and you can access this and get your own. But this is basically a spreadsheet that we use for our own channels, and what it does is it like forces you to fill out and go through every single avenue and map it all out about your audience, like every single corner. And so you want to fill this out in full. You can see there's like lots of different things here, lots of different parts. And if you fill out all of these, this is going to give you so much insight on your audience. Like, you're going to have it all mapped out. It's going to be one of the most valuable things you can do. You want to spend hours of your time filling this out. And once you have this, the ideation part and the YouTube research part of the process is going to be immeasurably easier and immeasurably better. You're going to come up with so much better ideas that are going to get so much better results. So if you like money and you actually care about the success of your channel, which I'm guessing you do because we're here right now and you're watching the video, do this. Go access it in the link in the description. You can literally get your own. It's completely for free. And fill this out. So after you completely understand your audience deeply and you fill out that entire worksheet that I just gave you access to, we are now ready to move on to the YouTube channel strategy and ideation phase, which is also where YouTube research comes into things. And as I mentioned earlier, the level at which this is done will be the biggest determinant in your success. And don't just take my word for it. Take Mr. Beast, who said it's much easier to get 5 million views on one video than 50,000 views on 100 videos. We spend hours each day coming up with video ideas because he understands that from one amazing video idea that's executed to the best of its ability is way better than 100 videos. And this is the mistake that most people make, is they'll have a shower thought of a video idea and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll make that. I think my audience would want that. They'll put it together, not much thought and effort into it really on the grand scheme of things if you compare to like what Mr. Beast does and the effort that he puts into videos. And then they wonder why they only got like 20 views, if that. So this is Mr. Beast literally telling you, focus on ideation and strategy. And also Alex Hormozi, one of the fastest growing business influencers or personalities, whatever you want to call it, on YouTube right now, said recently that they've shifted from going from 4 weeks of editing and post-production stuff to 4 weeks of research prior to the video. So he's basically realized that the stuff after making the video matters a lot less than everything that comes before making the video, which is the channel strategy, the ideation, scripting, titles and thumbnails, and the concepts of those, because you want to do that before you actually make the video as well. I'll get into why in a bit on that. But that's what Alex Hormozi's shifting to, and he makes a lot of money from his YouTube channel. He has a lot of data, so take his word for it, as well as mine, as well as Mr. Beast's. But you see, this is where most people go wrong. And in fact, 99% of YouTube channels don't even do this. This has created a huge opportunity because, especially in the niches and markets that we serve, stereotypically our competitors aren't the best at YouTube. Our primary goal in our YouTube research is to identify these opportunities, all of them, and figure out exactly, I'm going to stress that exactly, and I'm going to get into why I'm stressing that in a bit, what our target audience wants so we can construct a channel strategy and video ideas to supply the demand. And I'm going to do multiple in-depth videos on YouTube strategy on this YouTube channel because it goes very, very deep. But to start with, here are a few actionable things to identify with examples for each of them as well to explain. I'm going to walk through examples for these. So one of the things is the distribution of supply and demand in your niche/market. Demand referring to how much do people want a certain video and how many people want it. So how many people want a certain video around a particular topic in a certain way. And supply is how many videos exist for that demand, for that particular topic or for whatever it is. So an example for this is this video here, which was actually a video that I created on a brand new YouTube channel when I first started my company, Views to Clients, the company where we partner with YouTube channels and companies and scale them to millions of dollars in annual recurring revenue. So when I first started this company, the problem that most companies have when they start is they struggle to get that first customer. And so I made this YouTube video to help me do that, and it in fact did that several times over. I still get inbound leads today from this video. The video's got over 400,000 views now. 600 days later, it's still getting hundreds of views every single day, and it's actually climbing back up to reaching that 1,000 view per day mark like it was here for 200 plus days. And the interesting thing was, this was on a brand new YouTube channel, 0 subscribers, 0 views and all of that stuff, and I was competing with channels that had tens of thousands of subscribers, if not hundreds of thousands, and the videos had hundreds of thousands of views. So the question here is like, how was I able to make such a successful video that ranks at the top of YouTube search to this day and gets a ton of traction and has generated me a lot of revenue and success? How have I been able to outcompete with those people who were way ahead of me in a sense? And it was from understanding the distribution of supply and demand in this particular area. And this is what I'm talking about from one single insight I was able to create all of this success? Let me explain. The first step was coming up with the initial idea, basically understanding what my ideal customers had their attention towards. And from understanding the audience, one single insight that I had was that people at the time were struggling to make and upload a YouTube short on PC. So that was an insight that I had. That was a starting point that allowed me to then do some research on YouTube. And through using SEO tools like vidIQ, for example, although they're not 100% accurate, they gave me some idea as to how much demand was around this, which they suggested over 100,000 searches a month. But on YouTube as well, videos on this were getting hundreds of thousands of views, and some of them were getting tens of thousands. And this ticked off the box in terms of demand. Okay, there was clearly enough demand there. But the problem was also through doing that research on YouTube, I identified all of those channels that had hundreds of thousands of subscribers or tens of thousands and had hundreds of thousands of views. There was lots of videos that were receiving that demand. And so this poses a problem at a glance, because how was I, a new YouTube channel with zero traction and zero edge, meant to compete with those videos and eventually outrank them? It just didn't seem feasible at a glance. But because I did deep YouTube research, because I went an extra layer deeper, I found one insight that changed everything and allowed this video to succeed in the way that you see on the screen right now. And what that was through surfing all of these different videos and analyzing them, what I saw was that the average length and duration of these videos was probably around 10 minutes long, which was interesting because this shouldn't take 10 minutes to do. It's a very easy problem to solve, or a very quick problem to solve. So that sparked my curiosity. So what I did then was I started scraping the comment sections of all these different YouTube videos that existed that were 10 minutes long, which was basically all of them. And I kid you not, basically all of the comments were saying, I've just watched this video for 10 minutes and I still don't know how to solve the problem. Or I've just wasted 10 minutes of my life. Like, all of the comments were to that effect. And that is when the light bulb moment went off and I found the insight that was going to give me the huge edge. All I needed to do was create a video that was super quick, actionable, no longer than it needed to be, and that was going to fulfill the exact, remember when I was putting stress on the exact demand that people had. People didn't just demand a YouTube short tutorial on how to make and upload a YouTube short, they demanded a quick and actionable, straight to the point tutorial on how to make and upload a YouTube short with no fluff. And so because I made that, my viewer satisfaction was the highest out of any of the other videos, and I received all of the traction, all of the demand. My video eventually outranked all of these. As you can see, it just absolutely curved up. And because it's still one of the best solutions, it still ranks very, very highly. So, definition of a very successful video that, you know, if you were to get 400,000 views from your ideal customers on whatever your product is, I'd imagine that it would be quite a lot of revenue, as it was for me. So that's one example of supply and demand. Now, the next thing is outliers and patterns / winning formats. And basically what this is individual videos that have succeeded astronomically in comparison to other videos within the niche or on a channel. That's what an outlier is. And patterns / winning formats is where those happen multiple times and there are consistencies between each of those. So let me show you a few examples so you understand what I mean here. So one of the videos that is actually an example of utilizing outliers and winning formats and the data on YouTube is this video here that I just showed, which is one of the channels that I'm partnered on in the e-commerce niche that has generated 6 figures, well over 6 figures single-handedly, is still ranking at the top of the search term e-commerce, which is a pretty powerful thing to be able to do. And yeah, has been a very successful video. And so as I said, we understood the audience deeply, and so from that, and through doing the research, I was able to come up with the thesis that Brooke's audience would want a particular type of video, like a more value-orientated video, and that type of video didn't currently exist in the market yet, at least to a good scale and to a good standard as well. Most of the videos in the market were for that more younger, immature audience. But the problem was that I couldn't find any concrete evidence behind this because the videos didn't exist in the market yet. I couldn't search around for those videos to say if those videos had performed extremely well because they didn't exist. So what I did instead was I looked in adjacent niches or bigger niches. And the reason why is because if you look at adjacent niches, niches that are similar, or niches that are bigger and kind of encompass the niche that you're in, the viewers have similar behaviors in those niches. So when something does extremely well, and if there's a format that does extremely well, you know that those people respond well to that format, and you also know that people in your niche will respond well to that format because they have similar behaviors. But if it's been done in that niche and it's doing extremely well, but it hasn't been done in your niche, then chances are it could do extremely well in your niche. And so the niche that I went to was the business niche, right? The biggest niche that is bigger and encompasses the e-commerce niche, because e-commerce is a type of business. And I went to the channels that were succeeding in the business niche the most. So Alex Hormozi, Layla Hormozi, etc. And one of Layla's videos really stuck out at the time, which was this video here. If I was starting a company in 2024, this is what I do. Full $0 to $100 million guide. This video just blew all of her other videos away, and it contributed significantly to her growth at the time. And there was a key reason behind why this video did well. You know, videos don't just do extremely well for no reason, especially in a niche like business, where it's one of the most competitive niches. Thousands of videos are getting posted every single day. You need to do something to be able to stand out and see that level of success that she saw. And what it was that it was a very value-orientated video at a high level. That's like the high-level compass and reason as to why this video did well. But then if we dig deeper into the individual components, if I was starting a company in 2024, this is what I do, full $0 to $100 million guide, that title there is a very value-orientated title. It's a very strong promise as well. Full $0 to $100 million guide. Like, that has a huge total addressable market. So the kind of question is, okay, that's a great title. That's going to interest a lot of people, but is it very convincing to get people to click? Well, yes, it is. And part of the reason for that, a big reason for that, is because of the thumbnail. The thumbnail is very authentic, which makes you believe in the claim that's set in the title more. You don't need money. It's just a quote. It's clearly a picture taken of her. It's not clickbaity like these other ones. And therefore, people believe in the claim more. And they also see the video is 30 minutes long, which implies towards that value and given that deep value to the point where somebody could actually learn how to go from whatever stage they're at, whether at 0, whether at 1 million, whether at 10 million, all the way to $100 million, which is like the dream outcome that they want to achieve. And so from all of those insights, and even from studying the video itself, which I'll not get into because that's a little bit into detail, we were able to reverse engineer that and translate it to our niche, which was this video here, how to build an e-commerce business in 2024 from $0 to $1 million. We did $1 million instead of $100 million because that's more tailored towards the dream outcome that our target audience is aspiring towards and trying to achieve. From seeing that single outlier in the business niche, that was enough to give us evidence and confidence behind our thesis to where we carried it out. And we saw this huge success, and we were obviously correct in the thesis. But the point is that before creating the video, we wanted to make sure that we had the confidence and data to support our thesis necessary to actually make the investment into making this video, and the time investment, the capital investment, etc. Another example is this one here, the new way of dropshipping in 2024. This format originated from the Facebook ads niche made by this Chase Chappelle guy, the new way to run Facebook ads in 2024. I believe he even did a 2023 one, and that one succeeded, and then he did a 2024 one. And lots of other people have done this as well. This is actually another channel that I'm partnered on, and this video drove significant results for him. It got him multiple clients because the video was very value-oriented, and it gave a lot of value, so we converted a lot of people there. And so this was working in the Facebook ads niche, and I thought, well, okay, let's translate this to the dropshipping niche, because the Facebook ads niche is typically being consumed by e-commerce brands. The people who want to run Facebook ads, a large percentage of those are e-commerce brands because they want to, or even dropshipping people, right? Dropshipping brands. So I knew that the audience was already resonating with this format because it was the same audience that we were trying to attract that were consuming these videos and watching these videos and clicking on them. But it hadn't been done in the dropshipping niche before. So I translated it to the dropshipping niche where they were already familiar with the format, and this video did, again, extremely well. And we've done this numerous times over. These are just a couple of examples here. And to go to another channel, for example, is Hype Fury, which is a software tool. It's a Twitter marketing software. And we started with their channel all the way down here, as you might imagine, right? Basically the point where it started to just go exponential. And now they're getting around 2,000 views every single day. This was the first video we made for them. The way we came up with this video idea was through doing the supply and demand side of things that I just talked about with the YouTube short. But after doing this video, we saw that it did extremely well, and the format of this was how to grow an audience on Twitter. So after doing it, and after doing extremely well, we saw that there was an intense demand around this topic. And so we did this video again, but with a different angle, 0 to 1,000 followers on Twitter. Video is still about how to grow an audience on Twitter, and we got another 60,000 views, which is huge, by the way, considering their niche, which is very niche down, very targeted towards people who want to grow on Twitter, and their tool helps people grow on Twitter, so it converts extremely well as well. And after that, we made the video again, but 100,000 followers, 40,000 views, and we did it again. Last but not least, with this video here, 0 to 10,000 followers, and this one's the most successful to date, despite it being the most recent one, over 150,000 views on this single video. And all of this traffic's coming from YouTube search, from search terms like how to grow on Twitter, how to grow a Twitter account, etc., etc. So, extremely powerful, and this is all from using the data that already exists on YouTube. We're using insights through our research to be able to help us craft these ideas. And another thing we want to identify is trends in the market, both macro trends and micro trends. Micro trends being more so within a particular market or a subsection of markets, macro trends being across the entirety of YouTube, for example. And so one example of this is for Instantly AI, where we made this video, Alex Hormozi's $100 million cold email strategy, and this video has single-handedly added thousands of paying customers to their software. And this has been a big contributor in us being able to scale from 0 to over $1 million in added annual recurring revenue just from the YouTube channel alone in that 8-month time period. And as you can see, the graph is literally just going straight up, so it's going to continue to be very, very successful. And the key driving factor behind the success of this video was leveraging Alex Hormozi. I'd seen that in a couple of niches. People had leveraged Alex Hormozi before and kind of trend-jacked his name. Somebody did it in the dropshipping niche when Alex Hormozi doesn't even really talk about dropshipping, and it did extremely well. So that was big confirmation behind being able to leverage Alex Hormozi's name when he's not even in the video and being able to succeed if the video is structured correctly. And also, I saw the level of demand around podcasts with Alex Hormozi on. They were getting millions of views, so he clearly had that pull to be able to get a lot of attention. He clearly has that amount of attention around him. And so we made this video at around his peak as well. And the great part about this is that Alex Hormozi's audience is literally our target market. Business owners who want to grow. That is literally everybody who he targets. Business owners who want to grow. And so he's the perfect person for us to leverage and make a killer video on, that when those people come to our video, they are going to be very high intent towards buying instantly as a software. I'm going to get on to how we actually promote the product and sell the product in a bit. Yeah, this video was super successful, drove a ton of revenue growth. And another example of this would be maybe on a bit more of a macro scale, would be this video here that was for another channel that I'm partnered on, which also went from 0 to $1 million a year with their YouTube channel in 8 months. And this video here also generated a lot of revenue. It generated well over 6 figures. And with this video, what we did is we knew our target market and understood our target market. And one of the things about them was that they are looking to start a business and they're quite impressionable towards what business they should start. And so there was this big trend at the time that was this new AI business model with the rise of ChatGPT and AI and all of that stuff. It was this new business model that was taking over YouTube, basically. And there was a ton of attention around it, but there was no videos that really opposed the business model. There were just videos that were in favor of the business model. How to start an AI automation agency. How to get clients for one. All of those sort of videos. So because of that, there was a gap in the market to create a video that opposed it. But also, the benefit of this is that we would make a video that opposed it, which also attracts that audience that were currently consuming the AI automation agency videos. That was the business model. The people who were consuming those videos were our target market. And so we redirected those people that had their attention towards this business model onto ours by leveraging this trend. And through the video itself, we were able to sell them on the business model that our program helps people start and scale. The channel that I'm partnered on, their offer is in the range of $6,000 to $7,000 and hit around 3,000 to 5,000 views. The owner of this channel texted me saying, we just booked 28 sales calls in 48 hours. And if you don't know, the typical close rate for a qualified sales call might be about 30%. And so you can kind of run the math just from early on how much revenue this video generated, considering now it's at 50,000 views as well. So leveraging trends, if you time it right, can be extremely powerful, but you do have to time it right. With Alex Hormozi, this video here, we timed it at his peak, and obviously it's still getting a ton of attention now because he still has a ton of attention around him, but the timing of it and everything about the video was what allowed it to succeed. And I'll get onto the other components of the video in a second. But in general, to summarize, what we are doing is collecting data. And the larger the sample size, the better. And what I mean by that is you want to collect and report and note down, or whatever you want to call it, as much data as possible. You basically want to gain this effect where you can just oversee YouTube. That is like the ultimate goal. If you can see what's going on across the entirety of YouTube and oversee the playing field, see where people's attention is going towards, see all of the trends that are taking place, both macro and micro, see how supply and demand is distributed, see where your target market is. If you are able to do that, which is the whole point of this, is to get as close to that as possible, the ideation and strategy phase is literally going to be so easy if you can hypothetically do that. Now, obviously, doing that is near on impossible to a perfect scale, but that is your goal. That is what you want to head towards, and the more and closer you get to that goal, the better your ideas are going to become, paired with your understanding of the audience. And so as a high-level summary, the better you understand your audience and the better your overall awareness is of what's happening on YouTube, basically how tapped in you are, the easier and the better ideation and strategy will be. So spend by far the most time here. After you've done all the research and you came up with these raw video ideas from your research and from finding a couple of the points that I just mentioned and went through before, the next part is refining and packaging these ideas. And the packaging of your ideas is arguably as important as the ideas themselves, because bad packaging can make your ideas suck, but good packaging can enable your videos to meet their potential, attract thousands of buyers, and generate a ton of revenue. So at this point, we should have ideas in their raw form from doing the research and from getting our ideas down as we collect these insights and data points. So now we need to carefully think of the best way to package them to attract as many potential customers as possible. And when I say packaging, I'm referring to the title and thumbnail, the execution of the video itself, which is the hook, the structure of the video, the editing of the video, like lots of different things within that as well. Those are just a few things. And this is done and achieved by combining all of the information and data we've gathered in the audience and market research and YouTube research phase. And the reason why I want to kind of explain this diagram a little bit here is because we're trying to craft a composition of words, letters, pixels in terms of the thumbnail, and also video, the video itself, that's going to get us and maximize how many customers or potential customers and our target market we can attract, how much of our target market we can attract. And it's this real complex balancing act, because we've got the target market, but we've also got a broader market, which is the served available market. And then we've got the total addressable market. So I'm referred to the total addressable market before. I've also referred to the target market. But the point is that the target market are the people that are like the most valuable for us to track. They're the people who are most likely to convert. They're going to have the highest lifetime value and generate us the most revenue, etc. But also we can't ignore that the total addressable market, everybody within that might not be in the target market, are also valuable to attract. And there's also a lot more of those people. Now, the target market is the highest priority to attract. So we want to best resonate with them, and we want to do everything we can to attract as many of those people as possible. But after we've done that, we also want to try, if we can, attract as many of the people in the broader markets in each layer, right? So next in priority would be served available market. Next in priority would be total addressable market. On a high level, of course, there's even more layers to this if you go deeper. But they're next in priority, and we want to attract as many of those people as possible, and then as many of the people from the total addressable market as possible. And like, just, you know, the broader is next in priority, but we want to attract as many people from each layer as possible without sacrificing how many people that we attract from the inner layers, such as the target market. So we don't want to make an idea that might appeal to, 30% of the total addressable market if it means that we're sacrificing some of the percentage that we attract from the target market. We'd much rather have a video that attracts 90% of the target market and 10% of the total addressable market, rather than, 30% of the total addressable market and 85% of the target market, just as an example. The target market is the highest priority. And so it's this complex balancing act, because truth is, in a lot of cases, we can make video ideas that satisfy both ends of the equation, where we attract a lot of the target market, as much of them as possible, and we can also attract quite a bit of the total addressable market as well. And so this is what I'm constantly thinking about when I'm crafting the title and thumbnail and thinking about how the video should be executed, because the thumbnail is the visual hook, and so we've got to come up with a visual hook that gets the resonance and gets the attention of your target market as fast as possible and is an absolute no-brainer click for them, but is also the case for people in a broader market. So I just want to explain that there. Now I'm going to go way, way, way deeper into refining and packaging video ideas in separate videos as well. But again, to go through some examples like I've just walked through, this one here, this was actually a format that was taken from another video, which was don't start an SMMA, start an AIAA instead. So this video had basically been done in another niche when the AI automation agency niche was on the rise. The AI automation agency niche, when that other video that I'm referring to was done, was in the same timing and state of Levy's niche, the channel that I'm partnered on here, where the lead generation agency business model was at. So it was like a similar situation, and because of that, the format that they leveraged made sense to use on our video because it had already proven to do well. And so the thumbnail format was the same. I'll probably pop the screenshot up on my screen right now so you can see it, but if not, you can just search that on YouTube. And also the title format as well. This one here for Alex Hormozi, obviously here what we have is Alex Hormozi as the main focus because that's the main attention point, and that's why he's also at the front of the title as well. But also, we have as a $100 million signature in the title, which, if you don't know, it's part of his branding, basically. He has books like $100 million offers, $100 million leads. So having a $100 million cold email strategy in there makes it feel like it's his own, right? They're watching that, and it feels like they're about to consume the third, chapter of $100 million offers, $100 million leads, and then it's like the cold email side of things. So it kind of gives off that impression. Then the thumbnail has Stripe notifications on the right-hand side because Stripe is the most popular payment processor for businesses, especially the ones that consume Alex Hormozi's content. So when they imagine themselves making a ton of money, they imagine Stripe notifications, and so we visually represented that on the right. And on the left, we have different points of cold email. We have email at the top, which is obvious, and then we have the two in the middle that are pixelated out, and the bottom one is payment, which is obvious. Right? So the obvious ones, the start to end point, are not pixeled out, but the middle points are, and they don't know what those points are, so they have to click to find out what Alex Hormozi's cold email strategy is. We're not going to reveal it to them unless they click, so it creates a curiosity gap as well. That's the sort of thought process of when I'm making titles and thumbnails, for example, and it's the same for hooks of the video and the structure and the editing as well, the editing choices that we make. So now when it actually comes to producing the video, I'm going to give you a few actionable tips here. So your video must meet the expectations set in the title and thumbnail. This is crucial. Our primary goal of the video is to fulfill on the interesting promise we made to get people to click in the first place, right? We've made this promise and claim to the market, basically, to get people's attention and convince them to click. But then, if we do that well, right, if we meet that expectation well, then the video is going to do well, and it's going to get pushed to more of your ideal customers because people are going to be satisfied, they're going to be liking, they're going to be commenting, wow, this was a great video, I got exactly what I clicked for. They might not say literally that, but to that effect. And they'll basically give YouTube every signal that the video is good, and YouTube will push that to more of the similar audience. And the audience that it's going to push that to is going to be your target market. So it's like this flywheel of it getting pushed to your target market and getting customers from that. But if it isn't done effectively, then that's what clickbait is, and your video will die. We all know clickbait is bad, and making a clickbaity style thumbnail isn't bad. There's a difference between clickbait and clickbait style. Actual clickbait is where you're baiting them into click, and then you do not provide them with what you baited them with. So do not do that. You basically want to make the best claim in title and thumbnail as possible and just maximize how many people you can attract, and then do everything you can to fulfill on that claim. The next thing is that we aren't trying to sell hard in the videos, as that decreases viewer satisfaction, and your video will be pushed less to people. It's not going to be pushed as much, your channel's not going to grow as much, and you're not going to generate as much revenue. We are focused on providing value and meeting/exceeding expectations, and then we present the product as the best vehicle to achieve the outcome they're looking for. So basically what a vehicle is just like a real life vehicle. It's something that can, get you to your destination faster, better, cheaper, more efficiently, etc. So we still give them the value to be able to do the cold email strategy themselves without using Instantly, in Instantly's example. But then we present Instantly as the best vehicle in a non-salesy way. And this is what converts the best, as well as being the best for the channel in the long term. So to showcase of how we did this for instantly on this video here, for example, we're providing the cool email strategy throughout the video, but then also within each point or within a few points, we are showcasing how they can do it inside of instantly. And you can go and watch this video and see how this is done. This is all we are doing. We are literally we're not selling instantly. We're just using instantly to showcase the things that we're talking about. So the first step is generating leads. So we go to instantly and we showcase how they can just generate leads through instantly. So it's not salesy because they can do this without using instantly, but we are just showcasing that they can do this with instantly, and we are recommending that they can do this with instantly without even saying it, just by showing them us doing it through instantly. That is how we are selling it. And we kind of do this throughout as well. This is us on instantly here filtering leads, and then this is us putting in a campaign when it comes to actually creating the campaign and all of that stuff, but we aren't selling it. You can imagine how effectively this is converting, because when they're watching this video, they are just seeing instantly throughout, and instantly is now paired to Alex Hormozi. They've got like the same level of status, so the people who trust Alex Hormozi now also trust in instantly. So that's a cool little psychological trick that we use there to convert even better as well. But yeah, this is what we did throughout the video. You can kind of see it as I scroll through. Like, we're writing the campaigns and instantly here. So effective. And this is what I mean when we're not hard selling. We're just providing value. We're focused on providing the best video possible and meeting and exceeding the expectations as much as possible. And then we can be like, look, this is the best vehicle if you do want it, right? If you want to get there cheaper, better, faster, whatever. The next point is that making videos in your niche is simpler than what it is in the entertainment or general business niche, for example. We are focusing on fulfilling an intense demand, oftentimes a pain or desire, for a particular type of person, and so they care a lot more about getting what they demanded rather than all of this fancy stuff on top. And this is why editing matters less in the niches that typically we work in, although that doesn't mean it's not beneficial. Editing can be very beneficial, but this is why it's not as much of a necessity as it might be in the entertainment niche. The people who are consuming content in these niches, they are on a mission, right? Especially if they're business owners or they're high-level people, they're not really there to waste time. They're there to receive their value in the most efficient and effective way. The last point that I really want to just touch on here at a high level, and again, I'm going to have separate videos on all of this, so make sure you subscribe, but make sure the video is high quality if you can help it. A good viewing experience helps tremendously, and if it means investing into some equipment, it's a very good investment to make when we're looking to add millions of dollars, right? If you're going to cheap out over investing in some equipment when you have the money to invest into that, I would just recommend against it, because just from having that additional quality, what is the likelihood that that is going to ROI extremely quickly? It's very, very likely, It could be one sale that covers your entire investment. So just consider that. It's obviously varies depending on your situation, but even an iPhone and a good microphone can work well when you're walking through things on screen. So you don't need this huge setup or huge complex and expensive setup by any means. The main thing I want to emphasize and really focus on in this video is everything comes back to how deeply you understand your market, which comes back to the actual market research independent of YouTube, so outside of YouTube, and then how deeply you understand YouTube, which is done through market research on YouTube itself. That is the heart of your YouTube channel. The ideation, the strategy, thumbnails, titles, editing, scripting, it all relies on this. And if you want to learn everything that you need to know about understanding your market and YouTube research, strategy, and ideation, there will be a video that will pop up on the screen right now if it has already been posted, but it might not be out yet. But if it is, go click that right now. And if it hasn't popped up, you'll instead see some sort of card that will take you to my YouTube channel where you can actually subscribe so that you don't miss it when that video drops. And also do all of the other things that will tell YouTube that you want to see my next video. So like the video, leave a comment if you found the video valuable, and also ask any questions as well if there's anything that you want to know. And of course, make sure that you subscribe, because that's going to tell YouTube, I want to see this video when it comes out, and it's going to recommend you it so that you don't miss it. But apart from that, like I said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment sections, and I'll see you in the next video.